Hi there, happy Wednesday. So, this video is going to be about all of those who struggle with self control. And I know a lot of us do, and we have regrets about how we handled a situation and so forth. So, I have 5 simplistic ways, although they're not easy a lot of times to achieve, but if you keep practicing, they will be. So, the first way is delayed gratification. And I know that may sound easier than what it is to accomplish, but this is simply choosing long term rewards over short term pleasure. All right, so this helps to build patience, and then it also strengthens your ability to focus on bigger goals. So, what's a practice? And then, if you've been to this channel before, of course, it's pausing. So, you pause and you ask yourself, will this choice help me later before you react? All right, so that's number one, delayed gratification. Number two is impulse regulation, right? This one is big. So, what's the meaning behind that one? So, that means stopping yourself from reacting immediately. So, in other words, this prevents that regretful decision making and keeps your emotions sort of balanced, right? So, another practice, of course, pause and breathe before you respond or act, all right? And then three, it's goal oriented thinking. All right. And I know a lot of times when self control is even a factor, we don't think about the goal at the moment. But I want you to think about what is your bigger why, right? So that can help guide your actions, right? So it keeps the distractions in check, and then it also strengthens your commitment. So write down, if you're a writer, or, either recite it in a voice memo, whatever works for you, something that connects with you daily. And it can be something that connects to your long-term goal. So this can be something that you can do as a practice to just give you a reminder, what's the bigger goal here? And then number four, this is something else I mention a lot on this channel, is mindful awareness. So that's paying attention to your thoughts, also your urges, as well as your patterns. You can't control what you do not notice. So awareness gives you that choice. So journal if you're a writer, or like I said, do a voice memo, video, whatever works for you. Each day on moments where you felt tempted or you felt reactive, right? All right, so have that mindful awareness. And then lastly, it is encouraging self talk. So talk positively to yourself. Encourage yourself with constructive inner dialogue. The operative word there is constructive. You don't want to beat yourself down and say, hey, I can't do this. I'm not able to do that. Why? Because this shapes resilience and it helps you to bounce back when you have setbacks that occur. So replace all of those I can'ts with I'm learning how whenever you face a challenge. So all of those, they had a letter that they began with. So I'm going to have like a corny little acronym that'll help you remember it if you have trouble. So the acronym is DIG me. So this will be really telling my age because we don't even use the term dig anymore. But anyway, the D is for the delayed gratification that I mentioned. So basically hold off on that quick reward and think of the bigger reward later. This builds patience. It also builds discipline as well as long-term success. The I in dig me is that impulse regulation. So pause before reacting. Control the urge to react in the heat of the moment. This keeps you from regrets, and it also strengthens your emotional balance. The G is for that goal-oriented thinking, right? So this keeps your why front and center. So that needs to be how you guide your choices, your goals. It helps you stay committed, and it also helps you filter out any distractions. That M for the me and dig me is that mindful awareness. So pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, as well as your triggers without judgment, though. This awareness will create choices that you can make that are good for you instead of that autopilot reaction. And then lastly, it's E for that encouraging self talk. So coach yourself with positivity instead of criticism. All right, so this builds resilience. It also helps you to bounce back even stronger. All right, and then I want to say a quick PSA because as you know, I read all of the comments that come through on the channel. It's a very small channel, so I'm trying to grow and so forth. There is a viewer, and I appreciate the vulnerability, although what I don't like, what doesn't sit well with me is they don't talk kindly to themselves, right? So this is a PSA to speak kindly to yourself, right? So for people that say, I can't do this, this isn't for me, or I don't do this well at any cost, whatever, I want to gently remind you the words that we speak, especially to ourselves, they sink deeper than you think. So they don't just pass through your mind, they literally take root in your spirit. So even if it feels heavy, try to speak life over yourself, right? Even if it's a whisper like, I'm trying, I'm learning, I'm worthy, even those simple phrases. Kindness doesn't just belong to others, it's also for ourselves. So let's plant better words so that you can watch something beautiful grow. So I hope that all of you have a great rest of your Wednesday, a great rest of your week. Take care and be well.